What's up, guys? This is Mr. Second Passport, and today we're going to cover why the real reason why I moved abroad in the first place, almost 12, 14 years ago, and why I can't go back to my original country, the US. Okay, so let's get right to it. There's two reasons, both of which I'm not particularly proud of, but it's the truth, so I thought I'd share with you, right? The first reason is this little red plastic thing right here, credit cards. Yeah, when I first graduated college, uh, all I wanted to do was travel, and I did for several years, from about age 22 all the way to about age 27. I just kind of floated around internationally on these 0% APR, credit cards, because I took advantage of my good credit, and I just kept spending and spending and spending, and I just kept rolling it over into new deals and new deals as they expired, and then all of a sudden, pop, they didn't let me roll over anymore all at once, and it came down pretty hard on a young guy with no income. So I ended up having to default and settle, and it kind of screwed up my credit. And it's tough to live in the US without good credit or any credit, because you can't even get a cell phone plan without a credit card. You know, you can't even catch an Uber, right? Or a lot of times rent a car. And even in countries like Puerto Rico, or where I went once and they wouldn't let me, or Ecuador as well, debit cards don't count. You actually need a credit card. It's actually quite tough to live in a country like the U.S. without decent credit. I've found, and sure, there are debit cards that work for a lot of things, but I also know, being in the biz of hotels and tourism, when you book on sites like Booking and these other sites, you give your card, the info of your card, you don't realize it, but directly to the hotel. And there's some guy in the hotel who takes your card number and charges you manually, right? That's how a lot of these things work online. And so, having debit cards, you got to be a lot more careful about who you give your card to, your info to, what you buy online and stuff like that, where you buy online. It's not the same. It's not the same safety that you have as a credit card, right? So definitely, something to think about. It was a handicap for me, um, and it was one reason why I chose, okay, I'm gonna move abroad. I'm gonna give it a go. And the second reason that I'm also not proud of why I initially moved abroad was because the summer before my senior year of college, I was a fresh 21-year-old. I just moved to San Diego as a Clevelander, watching, Baywatch and stuff all growing up after school. Shows like Baywatch. I always idolized Southern California, and I wanted to go check it out, and I loved it. But when I was in San Diego for the summer, I got this job as a mortgage loan broker, and really all it was is this: they gave me this stack of numbers that I had to stare at this phone all day and call, just pound the phone all day, and I was terrible at it, terrible telemarketer, and I really hated it. Wasn't for me, and didn't make much money at it. And it was then I realized maybe I majored in the wrong thing. I majored in foreign languages, and I wasn't even that good in foreign languages, and I was about to finish college. So I realized, maybe I majored in the wrong thing, and maybe I don't have a whole lot of options. Like, the only options I saw for me graduating was maybe be a financial advisor, or maybe an insurance broker, or maybe realtor, and all of that translated to me, in my mind, to this, staring at this list of numbers and selling, all just sales jobs, and that wasn't really for me. Also I'd go to these events where you're supposed to be able to network and meet other realtors and stuff. And I'd see these tall, good-looking, well-dressed, charismatic guys, surrounded by women, and it was just me there, young guy sitting on the curb, and I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't for me. So as soon as I graduated college, I had a great last year of college at MSU, Montana State University in Bozeman. Did graduate just barely, and then I took off a plane almost immediately. Did not want to enter the workforce, uh, and what I consider to be the hamster wheel of American society. So I caught a plane to El Paso, walked across the border into Juarez, caught a bus south to where I had a friend living in the city of Chihuahua, and ended up staying with him for about a month. And then I continued my journey south all through Central and South America. And that's kind of where I caught the bug on that trip of never really wanting to go back. And I haven't gone back, right? And if I went back now, what would I do, after what, 12, 14 years of living abroad, having my own business? What exactly would I do? Maybe would I work at Walmart as a greeter? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I have worked at a Walmart before in college, but I don't really think that's something I want to do now. So, these are the two reasons why I initially moved abroad and said goodbye to America and have never gone back. And it's been almost 15 years now. So stay tuned. I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you want to leave too, click that red button, subscribe, and I'll show you how. Take care.